Right, okay, now we're going to look at something closer to our hearts. The heart. Now, I'm going to draw it out for you in a really weird way, but learn it this way, and then we can look at some diagrams and then apply it to that. So, draw a circle, cut it into 4 pieces, representing the 4 chambers. Okay, now I'm looking at my patient's heart. Their right hand side is here and their left hand side is there. So that's how you've got to look at it. You are actually looking at the patient. Right, so this is a weird one. So what you do is, first of all, let's start here. Let's rub out that. So what I'm going to do is, so this is the first structure. So this chamber is the atrium. This chamber is also the atrium. One's right, one's left. This here is the ventricle. This here is the ventricle. So that's the right ventricle, that is the left ventricle. So now what's happening is, let's get some green blood in. So deoxygenated blood comes in to the heart, into the right atrium. So this bit here is the right atrium. So it comes in to the heart through the vena cava or vena cava. So this vessel is called the vena cava or vena cava. Right, once the blood's come in, it makes its way down here, and I like to draw 3 lines, and then I like to draw 2 lines here. So it goes through the tricuspid valve. Let me write that. There's a lot going on here, so I don't want to make this, I might do a quicker version of this. So this here is the tricuspid valve. Okay, so now our green blood, where are we, comes in to the right ventricle. Now it's here. Then what it does, it escapes out of here. So let's rub that out. So if you can learn to draw it like this, it'll be useful for you, I think. I hope. So then it goes out of the right ventricle to the lungs, and it goes out through something called the pulmonary artery. So because it's going away from the heart, it's going away in an artery as a general rule. Okay, so can we do it like this? So pretend the blood flows into our lungs, drops off CO2, picks up oxygen, and then it makes its way round, and we'll stop there. So let's do this. It then comes into the top chamber here, and that is called the pulmonary vein. So what happens? Blood comes in fully oxygenated into the left atrium. So you've got oxygenated blood here. Really happy. What happens next? It goes through this valve, which is called the, not tri but bi. So this has got 3 flaps, this has got 2 flaps. So this here is called the bicuspid valve. Right, now the blood's in here, ready to go. Right, let's create another gap. There we go. And it leaves this chamber, which is the left ventricle. It leaves here through what they call this blood vessel is called the aorta. So some of the blood will go up to the body and the shoulders, some will go to the stomach, to the legs. Right, from here now, one more thing I need to point out. There's 2 valves here to stop backflow, and they're both called semi-lunar valves. They're called semi-lunar valves here, and they're both in the ventricles. So that's the flow of the blood through the heart. So let me quickly summarize it. Windows E. Mario, Uramen, Mario, Uramen. How would you move that? Relief, man. Gonna have to just do this, I'm afraid. So here you have a exam question. Whoa, it's gone mad. Right, there you go. So here's an example. Let me just try to get my head around this. Okay, so the blood, right, just bear with me. Okay, here we are. So look, the blood comes in to the right atrium. So you've got your vena cava here. Blood comes in. It then goes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. Now we had a exit here, but if you follow this, it's going to go through the semilunar valve, which is here, and then the blood heads out up here out of the pulmonary artery to the lungs. It's going to go to the lungs and then back in, not through there, sorry, back in through here. Right, let me just get this right. Okay, so it's come into the left atrium. So this is that chamber at the top. It's going to go through this bicuspid valve into the left ventricle. Then it's going to go out of this semilunar valve, out of the aorta. So that's what it's going to look like. There's another example I can show you in 1 second. So here's another example of how they might present it to you. So here's your first chamber. That's the right atrium. Here's your second chamber, right ventricle. The blood's going to go up here, out of there. So then it goes out of the pulmonary artery. And then your blood's going to come back into, let's pick that. Left atrium. It's going to go into the left ventricle, and then it's going to make its way out through here, through the aorta, and that's hidden behind here. And then what will happen is it'll head off wherever it needs to. Right, so that's what it'll look like. So the way we drew it, it's fair enough. We do it like this with the 4 chambers. That's just to show how everything is laid out. But then you can have to apply this to the actual diagram that they give you. Okay.